here, and I am here with our first kit for January of 2022, and it is a page kit designed by myself, Meridy, and the name of this page kit is called 2022. So I'm first going to go over what's in your kit. You're going to get a firework stencil, and you're going to get an alpha, a glitter foam alpha, and you're going to get a set of Heidi Swap frames, chipboard frames, 4 of them. And you're gonna get a little bag of sequins, and in this sequins there's 2 little charms. There is a little clock charm and a charm that says 2022, and then the rest is just filled with sequins, the rest of this bag. And then the papers you're gonna get is 1 wood green paper by Photo Play, and you're gonna get a marbleized gold foil paper here, and a black piece of cardstock, 12 by 12, and 2 white 12 by 12 pieces of cardstock. And the first thing that you're going to do is cut all of these papers to the dimensions that are outlined in the instructions that come with your kit. You're also gonna get a full instruction, full color, 2-piece instruction that comes with this, so you can refer back and forth between your instructions of this video. So I'm gonna go and cut these papers to the dimensions that are outlined there, and I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty, so I've gotten all of my pieces cut, and before we start putting together the layout, we are going to make a shaker box. So you're going to start with this package of frames, and I made the shaker box out of my teal frame. So I'm gonna put these other ones off to the side. I'm gonna start by trimming off the corners of the black so you don't see it poking out underneath. I'm just kind of gonna give them a little trim. Okay, great. Now, the next thing that we're gonna do for this shaker box is I used the packaging that came off of this Heidi Swap frames, and I'm gonna use my paper trimmer, and I'm gonna cut it down to 4 inches by 4 inches. You could also use a page protector, like an old page protector. You could use transparency paper, but I'm just going to use this because I have it here. Let's see, where's the scissors? Okay. So I cut it to 4 inches by 4 inches. And then I'm gonna save this because I'm gonna use it in a minute. And then I'm going to have to cut the 4 corners. I know you can't see, but I'm gonna have to cut a little bit of these corners off so that it's not sticking out over the edges either. I know this might not be easy to see on camera, but I did the same thing with this as what I did with the black paper. And then I'm going to adhere this right to the frame. And I'm going to use double-sided tape, and I'm gonna put it all the way around so that there's no gap in the adhesive, because I want it to stick really, really well. Okay, so got that on there. Okay, so now we've got like a little clear plastic coating on the frame. Next, I'm going to take dimensional adhesive strips. These are thin strips. Got 2 here, but I think I'll just use 2 next to each other. And put them on all 4 corners, and you don't want to leave any open space that sequins can get through. So going all the way up, I'll save these little pieces for another time. And again, this is really thin. I'm using double thickness. Okie doke. Next, I'm going to open my little sequins. Now, in this sequin mix, there are 2 charms. There's a little clock charm and a 2022 charm. You're welcome to leave them in this shaker, or you might want to put them out on your page, whichever you prefer. I'm going to put them on my page, so I'm going to take them out of this sequin mix. And since I have a black background here, I'm going to pull out some of these black stars to use on my page, because they're not even going to show up very good against the black background. I'm not going to pull out the teeny tiny ones, just these bigger ones. There. Good. Okay, and then we're going to use the rest of these sequins in a little bit, and these 2 charms. So I'll just put them off to the side. Okay, so now that everything is in the shaker box that I want in there, now we could peel the backing off of these foam pieces and trying to keep all the sequins in there. So we'll peel off all these backings, and then we're going to put the black piece of cardstock right on there to close up the shaker box. And then this portion of the layout will be done. Just, just like this. And it's all covered and all in there securely, and you've got a cute little shaker box. All right, so the next step on this layout that we're going to work on is it's going to be the background, because there is quite a bit of mixed media going on this background, but don't worry, it's nothing too difficult, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to grab both pages, and I'll show you where I'm going to work on each page, but then I'm going to do one at a time. So using the other part of this packaging is where I'm going to start. And on the left-hand side of the layout here, I'm just going to put my mixed media like right there on that third of the page, maybe about that 4 inches of the page. And then on this side, I'm going to put it about mainly right in here. Okay, like this, maybe 6 or 7, maybe about half the page over here, about 6 inches right there. So we'll work on the left side first. And I've got some watercolors. You can use any kind of watercolors for this, but I'm going to use my Inklings and Creamies. I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm using Meet Me at Sunset and Boogie Boarding Blue. But I'm going to start with the yellow since it's lighter. I already added some water in here so that it would be ready for my video. And I'm just going to crumple up this packaging, dab a little paint on there, and there is no rhyme or reason. I'm sure that you've seen something very similar to this before, because I think a lot of people use packaging and paint and do this. So and the more I move it around, the faster it's going to dry for me. And I'll punch it up. I'll do, I think, one more little area of yellow here. And then I think I'll be done with the yellow for this side. Okay, I'm going to grab the other paper and work on the yellow for that, just because I've already got it all out and ready. So this one, A little at the top is going to show, and a little here in the middle is going to show, and a little at the bottom. And that's it for the yellow, I think. We can always go back in and add more if it's not looking like there's enough yellow when we're done. Okay, let that all dry. Okay, now I'm going to take, this is now my left side again. So we're just doing this area. And, okay, so here I am with the Boogie Boarding Blue. Just mix it up a little because I already added the water. And I'm just gonna do the same thing. And I don't want to mix too much with the yellow because I don't want it to start turning green. Like I want it to be teal and yellow. So I'm just gonna try to go gently without going too crazy. And then I will grab the right-hand side of the layout. And this has more that's gonna show than the other side, so I'm probably gonna do a few more spaces. Okay, so we're pretty much done with the paint. Set those off to the side. Okay, so we are going to go back to, this is the left-hand side of the layout. And we're gonna pull out the stencil. Simple Stories Magical Fireworks. So this is the stencil. And I grabbed 4 different colors of ink. I grabbed a yellow, a light teal, a gray, and a dark teal, and an ink dauber. And I started with the yellow, and these are Distress Oxide inks that I'm using. This one's called Squeezed Lemonade. And I just picked a firework, and I'm just gonna color one firework at a time. I'm not going over the whole stencil. So for instance, right here, I'm not super careful. It might have like one of the little stars that's next to the stencil in there, that's fine. And then another yellow one I did over here. Another yellow one I'll put right up here. And then I moved to another color. I moved to Salvaged Patina, which is the lighter of my 2 teals. If you only have one color teal though, you could stencil one and then don't re-ink it and stencil another one, and it would come out a lot lighter. So that's always an option. So that one in there, and another one up here. And I'll do a little one down here maybe. There, so I've got those 3. And then I'm gonna come back in now with the peacock feather, which is darker teal. It's peacock feathers. And add a couple more in there. So let's do like a medium-sized one right there. We'll do a little small one at the top. We'll do a bigger one right here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And you can do this with any colors you'd like. I mean, on all kinds of different layouts. If you're using colors that might affect the other color, you might want to rinse off your stencil between changing colors, but I'm not going to do that. This last color I'm using is Hickory Smoke. I'm not doing that on this one because to me, I will be just fine if it blends a little between, if it picks up a little of that different color. I'll do a big one here. So basically I did 3 of each color. Oh, I need a little more on that one. And then I'll do another one. Oh, I think there needs to be a little one down here. Okay, so that is pretty good for that side of the page. Now, when I start doing the right-hand side of the page right now, I am gonna go rinse off my stencil first because I don't want the yellow to get in all of this blue. It's just too, it'll make it too green. It won't look yellow. So before I start the right-hand side of my layout, I'm really quick gonna go rinse off my stencil. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my cleaned off stencil. Let me make sure it's nice and dry here. Okay, and we're gonna do the same technique on this page, and I'm gonna start with yellow. Now, this is a little bigger of a space, so I think I'm gonna do 4 of each color. You know how I did 3 little fireworks on the last one? I think I'm gonna do 4 on this one. So I'll do a bigger one, and I try to vary the size. Like if I do 1 bigger firework, then I'll do a little one and a medium one, because you don't want them to all be the same. There's like a little baby one right there. And I'm also trying to keep them in different areas on the page. So that was the squeezed lemonade. Now I'm going to go to the salvaged patina. I think I'll do a big one over here. And I know that a lot of this in the middle is going to be like barely sticking out because pictures are going to be covering that section in the middle. Okay, I got 4 of that one. Now I'm going to move to the peacock feathers. So, like I was saying, you can use the stencil for other things. If you had a wedding that you were documenting, I think that it would be really cool to do this with the fireworks in the wedding colors in the background. Like, I think that would look really nice. Or if you had a 4th of July, of course, red, white, and blue, pretty standard there, or red, silver, and blue. Also, I forgot to say, we can overlap these. I haven't really done that very good yet. So I'm gonna try to overlap a couple right now. It's okay that I got a little extra there. To me, it's fine. That's just the nature of doing this. So 4th of July, if you went to Disney, because I believe this Simple Stories line was a Disney line. So if you went to Disney, you could do it in whatever colors are on your Disney page. I know the standard typical Disney colors are not all that's at Disney. There's lots of other colors. The castle's pink and light blue, and the fireworks, your outfits might be purple. So you could do these in any color. You could do them for birthday party. I really like this stencil. Be a little more careful with that tiny one there. Okay, I think I'm gonna do one more gray one up here, and then I think I'm gonna leave this, and I think it's gonna be good. Okay. So let me move all of this over. All right, now we're going to start on the left-hand side of the layout. So that's the one that just has a little bit. And we're gonna start there and work our way to the right-hand side of the layout. Now, the first thing about the left-hand side of this layout is this paper is not really staying 12 inches by 12 inches. You're going to trim an inch off of two sides, or a 1/4 inch off of each of the 4 sides. But I like to do the mixed media first. That way I can decide how I want to trim it. Maybe I got too close to the edge or not close enough to the edge. So I do the mixed media first. All right. And then you are going to mat that right onto this marbleized piece of paper. And I'm gonna put quite a bit of tape because, as you could tell, I just ran out of tape. Just a minute. As I was saying, before I ran out of tape, as you can tell, the white paper that I did the watercoloring on got a little bit warped up from the water in the watercolors. So I want to put a good amount of adhesive on there to help it lay flat. So there's that one. And then it's time for the pictures. Okay, you've got 3 4x6 photos. And again, my photos are just going to be represented by these 4x6 pieces of paper. And you're gonna go ahead and mat those on the rest of the black cardstock you have. You should have plenty because you've only cut one little square off. So we'll mat them on the black cardstock and trim those out. Now that I've got those matted and trimmed out, we can adhere the background paper, which is just this wood grain paper. And I adhered it right in the middle between the top and the bottom. Like there's just about as much white space there as there is down here. That's how I picked where I wanted that to be. And then I laid out my 3 photos. And I did overlap them quite a bit. Okay, and then the next part that we've got is this little frame, and we're going to back it with this marbleized paper, but again, we're gonna cut the corners off so you can't see them. And then we're actually gonna take and cut this frame right in a little, let's see, a little less than half. Maybe like 2/3 and 1/3, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna take it, I'm using my scissors because I don't need to be super precise. We're gonna hide this raw edge on both of them. This is for the other side of the layout, so I'm gonna put it off to the side. And this will stick right out from under there. So now we can adhere these down. Got one up there, one right here. And I'm going to adhere this down as well. And I just ever so slightly tucked it under this picture, and then we'll adhere the third picture right there. Okay, now I added a title, a subtitle that said 2020 Celebrate, but hopefully you can be scrapbooking 2022. I obviously had to make this video before 2022 and before New Year's, so I had to find an old New Year's picture to scrapbook. C-E-L-E. So I had to write 2020, but you can write 2022. There are enough twos to write 2022. There's 3 twos. I know we're gonna be short on twos writing all the 2022s because some stickers I don't think come with 3 twos. I'm gonna have to do mix and matching for all of our twos this year. Okay, and then I put one of these little arrows, celebrate, and a little arrow. And the very last thing that I'm gonna do to this one, I added some journaling strips on paper right there, but we're gonna add sequins down the side. And this is why I saved some of those black stars, because they show up really well on this background because it's so light. But I did use all kinds of colors. So I just am gonna, sometimes it helps to sprinkle sequins by actually sprinkling sequins and just seeing where it lands instead of trying to precisely place sequin where you would like it. So that's kind of how I'm figuring out where to put it. This needs a little more blue up there. These guys sure are sticky. Put another blue one. Okay, and that's how I'm going to decide where I adhere these sequins. So I'm gonna turn off the camera to adhere them so you don't have to watch that. But I'm gonna get these glued down and then we can start working on the next page. Alrighty, so I've got the sequins stuck down here and it's time to work on our second page. For page number 2, you've already got this bottom part going, and it's fairly simple to put the rest of this together. You are going to use the rest of the frames that you've got, and we're going to use the shaker box that we made. So, okay, see there's a teeny little strip of white. We'll trim that off at the end. That white that's left over. And these are going to be my 2 photo mats. And I'm just going to put the pictures right in there. And one of them, 3x4 pictures will fit nicely in these. Whoa. Okay, and then we're gonna lay these out kind of how we want them to be. Let's see, this is gonna be like that. And then the shaker box will be right here on top. And then this photo will be down here. This is gonna have to go up higher. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna start with my bottom layer, which is this one. I'm going to adhere that down first. And the next layer is this top gray one. So I'm gonna get that one on second. And then this bottom one. And last but not least, we'll adhere this shaker down where it goes. You know, yeah. There we go, just like that. So this is the main layout for this. And then I'm gonna add a title right here. I think I'm gonna add Happy New Year right there. You might wanna lay this out first with wax paper or the Thickers alignment guide tool or a clear ruler, just to make sure that this is exactly how you want your letters. I'm not really doing that for this video because I've already made one layout and the title is my original sample that I made. The title's in the same place, so I think it's going to fit just fine. Happy New. You can overlap onto your little frame here. It's not very super high off the page. It's not very, it's just a little dimensional. Happy New. And then I'll put year down here. Y-E. R. And then there is some punctuation on this sticker sheet, which is really nice. So I'm going to put an exclamation point at the end. And then there's some little hearts and flowers and plus signs and arrows and bigger hearts. So we can use those to embellish other portions of our layout. So I'm going to put 3 little hearts right here. Okay. And I'm gonna put this off to the side because I think I'm pretty much done with those. But I am gonna grab my 2 little charms that I pulled out of the, I pulled these out of the sequins, and I'm going to put the little 2020 right down there and the little New Year clock. Yeah, I'll put the 2020 down there, the little clock face right there. And I'll just put those on with some glossy accents because that sticks very well. And last but not least, it is time to sprinkle some sequins. Oh, before we sprinkle sequins, I just used a very thin black marker to draw a little outline. Before I finish, I'm going to trim that little piece off, the white that's hanging out up there, because that will bother me. So let's just get rid of that. Perfect. Now I will finish outlining. And I believe I did 2 little stripes around here. Alrighty. So now we're going to sprinkle sequins. And again, to me, it's just easier to sprinkle a little. Than it is to try to lay them out. I do want one more blue one up here. And I think I need one more blue one down here. Okay, and then I'm going to go off camera to adhere these down so you don't have to watch all that excitement. But that's pretty much the end of this layout, and then I will get them both on here to show you how they look together. Oh, no, it's not the end. I forgot that I splattered gold mist on my layouts. So I will show you how to do that. Let me get these all glued down and then I will do that. Alrighty, so the mist. I didn't want to forget about the mist, which I almost did. And I just did a little gold mist. You have to shake it up pretty good. I just did a little gold mist right over this area and right on the wood frame or the wood grain paper. And I actually did it on both sides of the layout. So I'll grab the other side and show you that too. But I just did this little splattering technique. And I just give it just a little. I didn't want to go too crazy. Okay, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to grab the other page. I did the same thing over here. Just a little. Yeah, and that's about it. So that's what I did. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll have still close-ups after this. Bye-bye.